Hi, thanks for joining me. Andy here doing 3-card tarot for Sagittarius. Okay, 3 cards for Sagittarius, and we'll do some more cards to get more significance as we go through. And cards might fall out of the deck, all kinds of crazy things can happen, you never know. So, as always, I will ask for the protection of the angels. I usually do that before I start, and then I thought, well, why not put it in? Okay, Saggy, so the first card out of the deck in this 3-card reading, 6 of Swords. Goodness, this card's been coming up a lot this week for several signs. Now then, this lady, she's the sheep shopkeeper in the Alice in Wonderland book, and she's also the Queen of Pentacles in this deck, in the Pentacles suit. But here she is the 6 of Swords, and there's this journey across water, a very mystical journey. And I actually feel this is underway, Saggies, but you may not feel completely aware of it. The feeling I get more than anything, and I'm a Saggy myself, so I must admit this is partly me in the way I feel at the moment. It's as if spiritually you're kind of going forward, but in a sense going through the motions as you feel it. In reality, Saggy, all our spiritual actions and feelings and thoughts are guided. Sometimes the influences kind of step back out of our lives because we've got other things on our minds and we've got things to sort out. But sooner or later, it's worth making this journey, okay? Because at the end of this journey, Alice gets to choose whatever she wants from the sheep shopkeeper's magical sheep shop, which turns out to be an egg, but she has to take it for herself. So it's complicated. But as we're looking at it now, don't be afraid to make that journey, Saggy, okay? I'm holding back a little bit from it myself because I've got so much else going on in life at the moment. But it's all good, really. You know, it's kind of pretty good to be busy. It can get a bit difficult to be busy, can't it? It can get really rather too much. Okay, so I'm shuffling now, asking for the second card in this 3-card spread for the sign of Sagittarius. And I'm doing this in mid-June 2019, but these aren't time-sensitive, guys. The best time to watch a reading is when you're drawn to watch it. No mistaking about that. Okay, so the next card, now this is the middle card. This would be the heart of the matter, Saggy. And it is playing into that spiritual journey idea. Again, it is number 18. And it's the moon from the major arcana. So we're really looking at you. You really being this character here. And Mr. Magical Walrus person there is leading the way. Now, when we get the moon coming up in any tarot reading, there's some kind of hint about maybe there's a false light leading the way somewhere. Or maybe it's just a light that looks false to our human eyes. See, we've got the wolves barking at the moon there. And, you know, that is a regular thing with full moon. I live out in the countryside. Many animals react to the full moon. You can see it. So it's not surprising that people do as well. So it's a real thing, but we don't know why it works that way. We don't know, you know, we think it's some kind of magnetism, but we don't really know. We've got the full moon in this card as well. It's somehow more distant, it's somehow more frosty, and there are no leaves on the trees in this card. But that's a cycle, isn't it? You know, they've either just fallen off or they're just about to grow back. But, you know, one generation gives way to the next. It's the life cycle of absolutely everything. So where am I going with that? I don't, you know, I work with a spirit guide and I don't always know exactly what he's on about. I'm drawn to this lobster here, and this reminds me a bit of the dog, or in this deck, the Wonderland deck, it's a cat, which is snapping at the heels of the Fool in number 0, the Fool card, right at the beginning of the journey. And that's just standing out to me. But I actually feel that what we're doing is we're kind of snapping at our own heels because we're not too sure about this journey. It's all a bit cosmic. It's all a bit out there. But this is just one of those cards, you know. It's Pisces energy more than anything. That's the sign most chiefly associated with the moon card. But look at those wolves, you know, it's real to them because they don't have this human analytical mind that has to work everything out and know exactly what's going on. They just they react to it. They react to nature. Any animal does, you know. It's just human beings. We've evolved to be so clever that we can think it through and worry about it and dismiss certain things if they don't kind of meet with the approval of, I don't know, really, just the human race. And look what the human race does that probably wouldn't meet with the approval of animals if we were able to interview them and find out. We are so destructive, my friends, are we not? It's a shame. I don't mean you and I exactly. I mean, I try to look after the environment and the planet as best I can. And maybe if you're into these esoteric things, these readings and spirituality and things, maybe you do too. Because this, you see, is where spirituality becomes real. So we're not really looking at a false light here. Although I would strongly suggest that you have a think about the motivations of people around you if you're being led into this and you're not too happy about it. Just think about their motivations a bit. And think about, what have you got to gain from it? Is it going to be good to go with the flow? It isn't always, It's always good to go with the good flow, the spiritual flow of energy. But, there are flows going in directions which do not help. That's all I'm going to say. Okay, right. So the third card in this spread for Sagittarians, which I'm doing in June 2019, but which you can watch anytime you like, is the Four of Swords. And this is not a great card to get for a conclusion if you're really expecting kind of progress. This actually suggests that progress is going to take a little while, Saggy. But that's not too surprising, actually, because this journey, this journey takes as long as it takes. And this is where we are at the moment. Yeah, we're on this journey. Alice has a lot of trust for the sheep shopkeeper. She's got no idea where she's been taken. It's just a long journey across water with all the kind of mystical implications and the thought of just kind of being grounded as well that come in with this journey across water, with any journey across water when seen spiritually. And because it's the swords, we're looking at kind of air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius energy in this. And I'm particularly drawn to the idea of Aquarius around this, actually. So maybe there's an Aquarian in your life, Saggy. Maybe they are really trying to teach you something. Maybe not. You see, this is fluid energy, different strokes for different folks. Everything applies differently. But goodness me, there's a long journey to be had there. There's a fair bit of working out going on here as well, I think. Trying to know where we are, where we're going, what's happening. But what we could really do with it is the Four of Swords, a dream. Okay, and this, it's not so much, not just a dream, it's a good rest as much as anything. That's a really important thing. I actually see a bit of Taurus energy in this because with Taurus, it's good to either kind of like work really hard or rest really hard. In other words, get a good. So you can't rest hard, can you? But get a good long rest. That's what you need sometimes in order to be productive, in order to get the Taurian kind of thing flowing. But never mind. Why have I gone on about Taurus? Maybe there's a Taurus around this situation, guys. I think there might be for quite a few of you the way it's going. Anyway, Four of Swords. Look, the swords are actually still hanging over his head. Although there's one lying on the ground here next to him. I can barely see it in the screen, but it's right here. So in a sense, he's in he's in control. I feel that he's got control of a quarter of the situation. The rest of it's still hanging up there, but it's not going to fall on his head. Those are securely tied up. He needs that sleep, and then he'll know what to do with the other three swords. Which, swords, it's our thoughts. Decisions that need to be made, things that really occupy the mind a lot. And so there is a lot of thinking there to be done, Saggy, and a lot of working out along the way. It looks like a time of working out. That's what it's looking like to me now. Now we've actually got the three cards of the main spread. But I'm shuffling again. And actually, I'm just going to have a quick drink of tea. That's better. We've got the Earl Grey in the red cup. That is really good. That's my favourite combination, Earl Grey in a red cup. What could be better? Okay, so let's do some significator cards for each of these in the reading. So I'm asking now, tell me more about the Six of Swords, please, in this reading for Saggy. That's the Six of Swords in this reading for Sagittarius. And we have got, it's reversed. Well. I quite like it when this one's reversed because it can be gloomy and cheerless. This one, we've got the Three of Swords reversed, Sagittarius. That's what we've got here. Three swords going through this beautiful cake. I've just flicked it round the right way so we can have a look at the usual meaning of it and then decide what it being upside down means. Okay, now this is significance for the Six of Swords, okay, which is the first card in the spread. I feel the heart of the matter, actually. It's usually the middle one that's the heart of the matter, but I feel this journey is really what's consuming Saggies at the moment. And a cough is consuming this, Saggy. Excuse me again. There. So much better. Right, so we've got the Three of Swords. And when it comes the right way up, it usually means kind of grief, like it's happened already. When it's this way up, we're either kind of concerned about grief that in a way we needn't be, or, you know, it's past more than we realise it's past. Okay, because when it's sort of this being upside down suggests that kind of it's just, you know, it's leading us in the opposite direction somehow to the way the card usually goes. I've got a really bad throat, excuse me. That's better. Right, sorry, I think someone stuck 3 swords in my throat during the night and taken them out rather quickly and it hasn't quite healed yet or something like that. Okay, so this is kind of, you know, what we might be expecting to be like stabbingly painful situation coming towards us, Saggy, and it's just not intended that way. It is actually the 6 of Swords journey. It is a mystical journey. It's just scary because it's kind of weird. If you've ever had real kind of spiritual dreams, which many of us have, and you'd particularly be aware of if you've been doing mediumship development or something like that. And I have those dreams because I'm a medium and I get taken in that direction sometimes. Those dreams are so weird, it's quite unsettling. But some good stuff has come to me in those dreams. It just seems weird because it's coming from the spiritual side of things. It's as if we've looked behind a mirror and we actually are behind it. You know, it's a scary thing in the spiritual process, but it's worth making that journey. It really is. Yeah, no doubt at all. See, the spiritual journey is always going to be a fair bit of mystery about it. Yeah. Now I've been aware of kind of love as a main theme in most of the readings I've done this week so far in this string of 12, and we're on number 9 already. I actually, tuning into the idea of love, I'm drawn back to the 3 of Swords again, which is inverted. You know, 3 swords right through the heart, and it's inverted. Okay, so in terms of love, in terms of relationships, actually, again, more positive than we think it's going to be, Saggy. Right, so I'm shuffling now and I'm asking, tell me some more about number 18, the moon in this spread for Sagittarius. And we've got the Hermit. And he's reversed as well. They're all coming out upside down now. Now, the Hermit is retreating. He's going away for the reasons which, if you follow the tarot, which I guess you do, you'll know it. It's a kind of time of soul searching, going into yourself, being yourself, and kind of just real soul searching. Now, Alice is waving goodbye to the Hermit, and she's kind of tearful because she'll see him again for sure when he comes back from his time being the Hermit, but she'll have grown into a woman by then. So, you know, things change while we're not looking. But it's upside down. Okay, so again, what you feel you've lost, and I do think we're around the subject of love here, Saggy. What you feel you've lost is very likely to come back to you. Just that by then you'll have changed. And because you've changed, you might not lose it again this time. You might find a way to hang on. Okay, tell me some more, please, about the 4 of Swords in this reading for Sagittarius. And we have the Wheel of Fortune. Great card, I think. It reminds me a lot of the world because everything is on the table when this card comes up. Just got to keep going for it. It looks like a mad dash here. Alice chasing the white rabbit around. Absolutely crazy. And we've got time indicated here. So we're removing ourselves from the constraints of time, Sagittarius. That seriously is what we need to do when it's a spiritual matter, or when it's affairs of the heart, love, which really is a spiritual matter. Loving relationships are one of a very few examples of where divine love actually becomes a real thing in the physical universe. Okay, looking very positive there, looking a little bit confusing here, playing cards all over the place, pulling us in different directions, so who knows what'll happen. But this is not a conclusive week for you, Saggy, that's what I'm seeing here. It is definitely a stepping stone to a conclusive week sometime before too long. Okay, I'm going to end it there. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Give me a subscribe and tap the bell. Leave me a comment. We'll share the journey. Spread me around the internet if you can. Peace.